in France. A lot of people have not realized this, but Marseille have signed a lot of, I think they've signed the most players aside Chelsea. I think after Chelsea, Olympique Marseille have made the most transfers. Now, if you look at the transfers for Olympique Marseille, you would be shocked. They have so many players. I couldn't even capture all of them in this screenshot. You have Mason Greenwood, the top liner, coming through for 26 million euros plus add-ons, 7 million in add-ons, plus I think they have a 40% resale clause in there. So that is very smart from Manchester United. Conditions are that Greenwood will not be allowed to play in England again because of that rape accusation. It's going to be very psychologically, I think the impact on the boy when he's playing in England is going to be very, very bad for him. And of course, the outlook on the club. A lot of these human rights groups in England are very vocal, and so it was a wise decision to let Greenwood go. Although a lot of United fans are very disappointed, but we had to let him go. So Greenwood coming in for Olympique Marseille. He's already scored 5 goals for them in 3 matches. He's the top scorer in the French league. It seems like the French league is a bit easier for him there. And then one of the transfers that a lot of people have not really realized is Eliwaye is one of those players who I think he was playing for Rennes, and then he went to Germany. And then on loan, and then he came back to Lens. I think he was playing for Lens. Sorry, I think my bad. He was playing for Lens, and then he went to Germany on loan, and then he came back, and then now Lens have sold him to Olympique Marseille for 25 million euros. Now, at the point in time, Eliwaye was on the I think radar of Chelsea. He almost signed for Chelsea. He actually almost signed for Chelsea, but they wanted to loan him to Strasbourg, and Eliwaye said, "No, I'm not going to play for Strasbourg," and so that transfer didn't happen. He went rather to Germany, and then he's back to Olympique Marseille, 25 million euros. He is the one playing with Mason Greenwood up front for Olympique Marseille, and then they have Ismail Kone. Now, Ismail Kone is a name that not many people have know of, but he actually made his debut for the French national team in a game against Belgium last night. And those of you who watched the game against Belgium, France won 2-0. Goals from Randa Kolomwani, and then of course Ousmane Dembele scoring those goals. And then if you look at Kone has been I think his first 3 games for the Marseille team has been very good, and that is why actually Didier Deschamps called him into the national team. So massive move for him, and so he's actually a very good player. He was bought from Watford for 12 million euros. Okay, so that is it. And then of course they have Bamou Meite from Lorient for 10 million euros. They brought in Grinimo Rulli from Ajax for 4 million euros. He's actually a goalkeeper. They brought in a centre back from Malmo, Derek Cornelius, for 4 million euros, and of course Jeffrey Delange, also a goalkeeper from Go Ahead Eagles, for 2 million euros. And of course they brought in Valentin Carboni from Inter Milan on loan, and of course Neil Maupay. Neil Maupay also signing on loan from Everton. Is also a centre forward. And then of course Pierre-Emile Højbjerg also from Tottenham Hotspur joining Olympique Marseille on loan. So if you look at a lot of the transfers they've made, a lot of them are loan transfers, but they have options to buy in there. So if Marseille, the way they are playing now, looks likely they will qualify for the Champions League next season, and possibly even if they are able to win, I think they are on course to win the French Cup, because if you look at how they are playing now, if they do manage to get to the final, it's going to be Marseille all the way. So that is the dynamics of the French league. It's not going to be a PSG league anymore. If you look at the sales that Marseille have made, the ambition that they have shown, and the fact that they've brought in a very good coach, they are going to provide a lot of competition for Paris Saint-Germain. Now, in terms of Paris Saint-Germain themselves, they've made some very notable signings themselves. If you look at someone like Ruben Neves from Benfica, he's one of the names that I've wanted to see in this shirt at Manchester United. But of course, the price was really high. But kudos to Luis Campos. I mean, Luis Campos for his massive engagement with Benfica president, Rui Costa. Rui Costa, who is now the president of Benfica. They had this serious discussions about the player. Now, a lot of teams were put off by the 120 million euro buyout clause on Ruben Neves, although he's a very good player at 19 years old. 120 million euros was a bit too much for a lot of the teams, especially Manchester United. And of course, I mean, the idea was that he was not going to lower the price. That was the rumor, that he was not going to lower the price. But it seems like Luis Campos, who is the sporting director for Paris Saint-Germain, actually managed to kind of engage in a very good negotiation for the player with Rui Costa, and he got him for 60 million euros. Very shocking, honestly. I mean, if we could have done this and gotten him as well, but it looks like, I mean, kudos to Luis Campos. Whatever they did, whatever convincing that they did might have worked, and of course they got him for half the price. And to be honest with you, I'm really impressed with Paris Saint-Germain for this sort of transfer, because I have felt in the past that they often overpay for players. I mean, signing Colomani for 90 million euros from Frankfurt, and then signing Gonzalo Ramos from I think Benfica, also from Benfica, for 80 million euros. He hardly plays for them, but so I felt like PSG like overpaying for players. But 60 million euros for Ruben Neves, for João Neves, is actually a very good transfer. And I think that his quality has been shown in the first 3 games that he's played for the Parisian team. I mean, he's been phenomenal. He's provided assists, he's scored. So everybody can see that 60 million euros for him is actually a very cheap option for Paris Saint-Germain. So very good deal. And of course, the fact that Kylian Mbappe left, a lot of people were saying, we need to replace Mbappe. PSG need to replace him. First of all, I don't think PSG needed to replace Mbappe. Okay, you have Colomani, who can play in that position. I always say that Colomani is a player who often squanders a lot of chances. So why don't you play him as a left winger? Okay, play Colomani as a left winger and let Gonzalo Ramos play as a number 9. But for some reason, the coach Luis Enrique prefers to play Colomani still as a number 9. I don't know for what reason, but he's still doing that, and that means that they had to bring in a replacement for Kylian Mbappe. And of course, they've brought in a very good replacement, actually, because this is one guy who a lot of people have been touting to join one of the big clubs, and that is Desiree Doué. Those of you who don't know him, I shared a video of him on my Facebook channel. Desiree Doué is actually 19 years of age. He plays for Rennes, where Ousmane Dembele used to play as well. They play in the same position, except that they are both ambidextrous. It means that they can play on the left and the right. And of course, Desiree Doué coming in, a very good Olympics coming through, and then now he's joining the PSG team. He's not really had a good he's not really had the start that he would like, but it's understandable because he's very young. He's coming in. He came in very late in the transfer window, so it's understandable that Luis Enrique will progress steadily with him. So it will take time, but the talent is clearly there. Desiree Doué will actually get his start now. Bradley Barcola is playing on that left wing, so it's going to be very difficult for him to get a start. Barcola is on a fine form. He's actually exploding this season, Barcola, both for the national team and for Paris Saint-Germain. So it's going to be difficult for Desiree Doué to start for PSG, but of course, at his age and the talent he has, he will be very I think they will progress him very slowly and then see how it goes. Now, of course, Ousmane Dembele playing on the right wing, always going to be there. And then, of course, because of his talent and where he is in terms of world football, he cannot go and he's playing very well. He's on top of his game. So Desiree Doué probably will be an understudy for Ousmane Dembele as time goes on. Hopefully he will come through and replace Ousmane Dembele. So it's actually a very good buy. He was also being sounded out by Bayern Munich, but at this point in time, I think he chose to stay in France because he's used to the French league, and of course PSG are a very top team. So I mean, why go to Germany when you can play for PSG? So basically, that is the rationale behind staying and joining Paris Saint-Germain. Obviously, he will get more money as well. So 50 million euros for Desiree Doué is actually a very good deal for him. I actually wanted him at Manchester United, especially when we have Anthony and Jadon Sancho not doing so well. But of course, if we have to bring in Desiree Doué, we have to let go of Anthony and of course Jadon Sancho. Sancho were able to let go. Anthony is still at the club, so I mean, you know, the wage bill is going to be difficult. But it was always going to be more difficult to convince a French kid to not join PSG. Okay, so it's always going to be difficult. So I mean, they've also PSG have also brought in William Pacho. I'll be honest with you, I have never heard of this guy's name before. Quite surprising. He plays for Frankfurt. I need to be watching a lot of Bundesliga this season because a lot of the names I'm not familiar, which is really not nice. Then I don't like that. So William Pacho, you know, joining I think from Frankfurt. Okay, apparently he used to play for Frankfurt and he's joined for 40 million euros. So it tells you the kind of player he is. Probably very good. He's a Colombian. I did not watch the Copa America too well, so I did not. I don't know his game so well, but I'll be watching PSG a lot this season, so we'll see how it goes. William Pacho also coming in there. I think Marquinhos also, advancing in years, and of course the fact that this guy Milan Skriniar, they brought Milan Skriniar into partner Marquinhos, but it's not really worked for them. I think Milan Skriniar is struggling, which is quite surprising. You play in the Serie A, top defender for Inter Milan, you win the league, you play in the final of the Champions League, you join Paris Saint-Germain, and they are already thinking about shipping him off. So quite surprising that Milan Skriniar is not getting a look in at Paris Saint-Germain. So probably the reason why they brought in William Pacho. So we'll see how that goes for them. And of course, they brought in a reserve goalkeeper from Krasnodar in the name of Matej Savonov. Okay, so Matej Savonov, also a goalkeeper coming through. Obviously, he will deputize for the goalkeeper Donnarumma. So basically, that is about it for PSG. They need to win the Ligue 1. It's something that they always do. If they don't win the League One, it will be a failure on the part of the whole team and of course the manager Luis Enrique. But if you look at I think the ambition now is the Champions League. But if you look at where they are going now and the kind of transfers they are signing, they have a long-term project in mind. So I think that for now, I think the obsession for the Champions League is going to go down now that Mbappe has left the team. A lot of the expectation on PSG will go down, and I think that is probably why they are going to do well, because now the pressure is off them. They don't have any Kylian Mbappe, and so they are not expected to win the Champions League, and that will be good for Luis Enrique. And I think they are doing so well this season. They've played so many advanced balls. I mean, they are playing so their XG, their expected goals this season, their XG statistic is very high. Like I said, Bakola, the South Korean, also doing so well. I mean, you have Ousmane Dembele in there. Of course, they struggled in their first game, but hey, everything will struggle without Kylian Mbappe. Let's see how it goes. I mean, the guy is the top scorer of the all-time top scorer for Paris Saint-Germain at the age of 25 years. He was already the top scorer of Paris Saint-Germain with 250 something goals, which is crazy. I mean, he was their top scorer in the French league since he made his debut for Monaco through to PSG. He was always the top scorer in the French league till he left. I mean, so if he's leaving PSG, it's always going to be a gaping hole in the team. But trust me, Luis Enrique is doing so well. Bradley Bakola, like I said, has done so well slotting in that left wing, and he's doing so well for PSG. So I think they're not going to miss Mbappe too much, but they need to bang in the goals, and that is the onus is on Kolomwani, who is not really prolific, and of course Goncalo Ramos, who I believe has the potential to be a real striker, but needs to get game time. Hopefully Luis Enrique will offer him that. Now, that is it about the French league.